death of a unicorn pure magic?
Or total mayhem? Find out next on the cutting room floor. What's up, misfits and metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the Cutting Room Floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And today we are talking about Death of a Unicorn. It's currently streaming on HBO Max. Rose, why don't you tell them a little bit about this one?
Well, let me paint the picture for you. There is a father, Elliot, played by Paul Rudd, daughter, played by Miss Wednesday herself, Melissa Ortega. They're on a little trip, a little work trip. He has to go meet up with his employer to talk about some dealings, and they are also dealing with the grief of no longer having the mom in the picture. So, troubled family, they're on a little road trip, and they hit, what do you know, a friggin' unicorn. And we about to find out what them horns do. Because unfortunately, these folks decide they can't just leave it on the road. They put it in their car and they travel over there with it, and it becomes a whole issue.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, you hit an animal and it's like, what do? Are you supposed to leave it on the side of the road, or are you supposed to put it in your car and try to, like, do something even though it's dead kind of situation? And he was confused and panicking. Also, he was extremely late for this highly important meeting that's going to, like, change the course of his career and life if he lands. That's why he's so frazzled and frantic and not in his right mind, and he doesn't listen as much as he could to his daughter, played by Jenna Ortega, because that's the mind frame he's in. And then randomly there's a unicorn, so, like, all this stuff is just happening. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He's panicking. He's flying forward like, just throw it in the car. We gotta get out of here.
Yep. Bad decisions are made all around, and a beautiful magical creature is put in the hands of rich people, and we all know that's always a bad idea.
Oh man.
We all know things are gonna not work out to the way you think they are, because we got various parties that have different priorities as to what to do with this unicorn, and this is what this whole story revolves around.
And as soon as they find out that properties of the unicorn have really good healing effects on us, that's when the greed kicks in and starts taking over everything.
Yeah, that's when we find out what them horns do. Son, what them horns do. So this was a very interesting, like, horror comedy kind of. This was made by A24, who specialized in those kind of elevated horrors and things like that. So it's an interesting concept. I don't think that I have seen that many things where that depict unicorns as anything but a positive thing. So I was very excited and interested to see that, because everything has a dual nature, and especially something as magical and powerful as a unicorn. They go into a little bit of unicorn mythology, which is always exciting and fun.
I like that.
I'm all about the mythology. I actually have seen the unicorn tapestries over at the cloisters that they do cite during the movie and everything. So I actually have gone and seen those specific tapestries. It was really, really interesting. And it was really, the gore is well done when it starts to happen. The actors are really good. It was nice to see Taya Leone as Belinda, the trophy wife of Odell, his boss, who is played by Richard E. Grant is the actor that plays Odell, who is his boss. And the son is played, his name's Shepard, and he is played by Will Poulter, who you'll recognize from Maze Runner. He was also in that movie Meet the Millers.
I totally recognize him.
He has very distinctive eyebrows. He's grown into his eyebrows, though. I feel like he's actually, when he was a kid, they were so, like, prominent, and, like, now they kind of fit his face better. He does a very good job as the spoiled, stuck-up son of this rich couple.
Yeah, he plays that role. That's right in his wheelhouse for sure.
And I don't know if you noticed, but their houseman, Griff, is played by Anthony Carrigan, who plays Calypso in Twisted Metal, one of our favorite shows. So Yeah, that was really cool. It was really fun to see. I feel like the cast did a good job in their respective
I am
parts.
always here for a horror comedy first and foremost. I'm always here
And
for it.
Paul Rudd is a good choice for that
And
kind of
Paul
situation.
Rudd
He's a very
is
funny
such
guy.
a good comedic actor.
And he's so good at playing specifically like a goofy dad. Like that's totally his
He plays
wheelhouse.
a very like goofy dad that's also caring, but like I said, his head isn't like where it needs to
His
be
head is
because
not
he's a
in the
little
game. He's a
panicking
little
and frazzled
overwhelmed and he
and
doesn't know what to
everything.
do with himself. And I feel like because of that, because he feels like these shortcomings and he feels this pressure to be mom and dad, he rushes into certain decisions that he really shouldn't be rushing into. And he goes against his own character and he realizes it. He's like,
And
crap,
a
like
lot.
this isn't me. This isn't what I care about.
This is also like a classic example of like in movies where the parents won't listen to the kids as much
Oh
as
my
they need to.
God.
They
It
don't take
always
their words
happens.
as
Always.
seriously as
Listen
they
to your
need
kids for
And
crying out
I'm
loud.
not saying that the kids always know what they're talking about. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying oftentimes there's a really big point that these won't listen to when they really need
They
to.
really
Like,
should. They
oh,
really,
she's
they
giving
really,
you
really
the
should.
pieces of the puzzle
Yep.
right now. You're not listening. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right. All of that being said, we've set the stage. You get the idea. We're gonna roll right along to our rating.
It's
we like
rating
to,
time.
Yeah, we like to rate via chainsaw with 5 chainsaws being a cinematic masterpiece of horror. 1 chainsaw putt-putting in the corner. You ain't cutting off no unicorn horns today, son.
Not with that.
You're not cutting it with that. So, that being said, how many chainsaws would you give to Death of a Unicorn?
I'm gonna give Death of a Unicorn 4 out of 5 chainsaws. This is a really entertaining, amusing horror comedy. I like that the concept is just something I haven't seen. I rarely, and I mean rarely, see any unicorn anything ever anymore. It's so rare and seldom that I see them in things. And I like that they are the main and only supernatural thing is we're just dealing with unicorns, which is fantastic because you just don't get unicorns. And then on top of that, they're not just the happy-go-lucky unicorns that you would see. Oh, he's so magical and majestic and he's going to heal somebody and then prance off into the forest and disappear. No, there's an entire lore, an entire tapestry. It's not what you think. They're like, actually, they're a bunch of savages. They're not the happy-go-lucky things you think they are. Please, and Jenna's like, please listen to me, please. You know, they find out later. These unicorns are savage. I mean, there's a point where this one unicorn is walking slowly through this hallway and the footsteps, they captured, the sound effects capture the heft,
it's good.
the heft,
It's
the
good.
weight of what I feel this thing would be. And that alone lent so much gravity to this creature being there that I was like, oh no, oh no. I enjoyed it very much, actually. Rose, what are you going to give this one?
I am going to do the same. I'm going to give it a 4 also. I thought it was really fun. I have never seen unicorns as an antagonist in something
Right.
before, which is really cool. I think that like most mythology, there's always, it's never so cut and dried as being like only a good side to any magical
anything, of
creatures.
course. Right?
I think that the last thing that I saw that even had a unicorn in it was probably like done well. It's probably the movie Legend, which there are definitely scenes in this that are specifically odes to that film, to like moments in that film, because that hands down. If you want to see unicorns in action, you need to see Legend. Legend is the absolute best depiction of unicorns in a film, period. End of story. You can't convince
That's
me
what I'm
otherwise.
saying. They're just
you
so
cannot
seldomly
convince me
touched
otherwise.
upon.
Legend is it. Legend is the freaking perfect representation of the beauty and wonder and magic of a unicorn. It was so convincing that it actually made people think that unicorns were real, that they actually had somehow gotten their hands on real unicorns for that movie. That's how good the depiction of the unicorns were in Legend. So, there is a little reference or two to the film Legend if you pay really close attention to this one. Super fun. I love Melissa Ortega. I'm sorry, Jenna Ortega. I don't know why I'm calling her Melissa Ortega. Jenna Ortega. Wednesday. You know who I mean. I love Jenna Ortega. She does a great job. And he should really listen to his daughter more.
Yep.
He really, really should.
Overall,
or he wouldn't have had to find out what them horns do.
I think it's just a fun horror comedy with actors that you probably love already. They're good actors that you've seen in things.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun story in a direction that nobody's going to go anytime soon again. And it's just enjoyable. You know?
Really is.
So you have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. We're going to start wrapping it up over here at the cutting room floor. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, listen to all our music videos here on YouTube. Big band news coming soon. We are in the works. We are currently writing. We are putting stuff together to try to actively start getting it out and have a release date for you. So don't worry, that is coming soon, and maybe next week. I'm working on something else. It's not that, but maybe next week I might have that other announcement for you. We'll see. Until then, we are from Cut Like This, and we are out.